Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Let's Get Tender podcast, where special guests join me each week to share money conversations that matter for success in business and life. In today's episode, you'll meet best-selling author, inspirational speaker, and sacred child coach, Heather Nardi, a passionate, creative, entrepreneurial mom on a mission to help parents create deeper understanding and connection with their children through soulful parenting. You'll hear her wise perspective on how she overcomes that all too familiar experience of guilt that creeps in when we least expect it after we've finally managed to achieve that big financial dream, dampening instead of drumming up our excitement. Plus, you'll hear Heather's powerful money belief that empowers her to unfold her financial potential and fuels her business growth to thrive for her own individual and family's well-being. Get ready for a tender money conversation on the power of your intuition and owning your financial story.
Welcome to Let's Get Tender, Money Conversations That Matter, a video podcast series with certified money coach Marlene Elizabeth, with amazing weekly guests who share their inner challenges, personal triumphs, and inside tips and strategies so you can prosper, lead, and love bravely in business and life. So get comfy and get ready to grow money with me.
Hi, everyone. My name is Marlene Elizabeth, your host for this show, Let's Get Tender, Money Conversations That Matter. I'm a certified money coach and author of my new book, Money Wings, and a mompreneur. And I am super, super excited to welcome Heather Nardi to the show today. Welcome, Heather.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here today.
Me too, me too. Before we get started, I would like to just read a little bit to you about Heather, a little bit about from her bio. So as a sacred child coach, love that, Heather Nardi helps parents create deeper understanding and connection with their children through soulful parenting practices. A best-selling author, inspirational speaker, and coach, Heather is establishing new ways to look at mental health, creating holistic and spiritual methods for deepening parental intuition and supporting our sacred children. Love that, Heather. I love that. And you may be wondering, so, what does money have to do with soulful parenting? And I would have to say that I was looking at some of your speaking topics, Heather, and I as I go through these topics that you speak on, for example, pain to power, moving from pain to power. Well, I know that I often speak on how to transform your pain into profit, right? You speak about moving from spiritual awareness to spiritual awakening. And I know that I often speak to my audience and my clients and my students about moving from spiritual awareness into a spiritual awakening around our relationship to money.
Yeah.
You speak about parent empowerment. I also speak about empowering parents to raise money smart daughters, money smart kids, right? And you speak about the sacredness of self-love. And this is really a biggie. It's a foundation of everything that I do in my work as a certified money coach. And that is really empowering women, especially female entrepreneurs, new and aspiring female entrepreneurs, around developing this practice, this sacred practice of financial self-care in their life. And so there really is, we share a lot in common, right?
Yeah.
So I'd love to kind of get started in our conversation here and ask, what is your first money memory?
Yeah, I think my first money memory was back when I was probably 7 or 8 years old. And that's probably about, it's hard to remember your age, but I grew up, I was an only child at that point, middle class family, upper middle class family. And I remember really wanting a CD player. I think it was, well, not CD at that time, cassette player. Cassette player. And I begged and begged my dad for it. And I cried because I knew how to like manipulate, probably. I don't know if that's a good word, but I knew how to get my dad's attention. And he would buy me something if I acted a certain way, and he would give in to me. So I learned that behavior. So I remember him purchasing that item for me. And then my mom was so mad that she made me feel guilty. So then I put that cassette player up in my closet on the shelf, and I never wanted to use it because I had this guilt. So I felt really sad and guilty that I had convinced my dad to purchase this item for me. So I took on that like responsibility that it was my fault and that guilt. And that really did carry forward. And I recently experienced that again. That's what I remember looking back, that's where I think I really, in my childhood, that was a pattern that continued.
Yeah, you know, it's so helpful to be able to look back in our money story and kind of start from the beginning and notice what experience that we had back then that was, of course, in innocence, right? I mean, we're children, we're learning, you know, childhood is about learning and growing and, you know, standing in our power and finding different ways to do that, right? But how, if we had a negative experience in doing that, how it's impacting our life today, right?
Right.
And so, you know, in that, you know, kind of following that path, what would you say, especially as either a female entrepreneur, you know, in business or even in your personal life, what would you say would be then, you know, that limiting money belief that you developed? It may not necessarily be from this particular experience, but what is there any one type of belief that around money that has kind of prevented you from achieving greater success that you would like in your business?
Yeah, I think it's still around that story, and that if I have enough, or I have too much, or I feel like abundance in money, that I have guilt. So where it was triggered recently is we were able to purchase a larger home, a newer home, and a larger home. And all of a sudden I had this sense of guilt. Even though we worked really hard to be able to get this home, I was feeling guilty that I had this really nice home. And so I was thinking back, like, why do I feel guilty? This is something we work towards, and we deserve it. We should be excited. And I was too, but there was this sense of guilt because I would go see people that don't have what we have, and then I get guilty that I have this beautiful home. But it was back to where my mom would make me feel guilty when I would get nice things. Kind of like I didn't deserve to have nice things, even though we had the money to have nice things. She would make me feel guilty because she grew up in a poorer home, not having nice things. So she would make me feel guilty when I would have nice things. So that carried forward. And so I think what I've learned is that was her story. That was her story that she put onto me. And I'm really working through that. And I was doing really well, but this new home, you know, purchasing something large, that had really, triggered that feeling again. So, you know, working on that again. So we think sometimes, you know, we've healed from something and then something else can re-trigger that. So now I'm working on that feeling again. And I know in my soul and in my heart, I deserve it. So I'm just kind of working through that is not my story. It's a story my mom put onto me. She never really healed from her story. So as a parent too, it's like if I can heal from my story, then I don't put it on to my children.
Absolutely. And so would you say then that your brave action step, because I've kind of heard a couple of different ways that you've handled this fear in moving beyond it. Number one is just being self-aware knowing that this is actually something that is a pattern or a belief that you struggle with. And we all do, by the way. Every single one of us has some type of money belief at work, a limiting money belief at work, in our life, in our story. And so, and each one of us are on this own, we have our own individual journey that we're on to work through it and sort it out. And life will continually test us around it as well. But it sounds like one of the first steps is just being self-aware. And it does, I say this, I consider this a brave step, because it does take courage to kind of look and see, kind of peek into these areas of our life that are holding us back. So that does take courage. And then the other thing it sounds like is that you are able to then be clear as to what belongs to you, what you can take responsibility for. That's a key word, right? Responsibility. Yeah. And then what belongs to another person. In this case, our caregivers, which are our parents, grandparents, the ones that raise us, they have such a big impact on our life until, of course, we grow older and understand, okay, this is them and now this is me. This is where they end and this is where I begin, right? So those are awesome 2 brave steps. Would you add another brave step that you feel that you've taken?
I think I love that awareness for sure. That is really an important, and that's kind of the hardest part, I think, too, being really aware. I love what you said, because I totally agree on that. And I just want to, again, say, I thought I had dealt with that, but then things can re-trigger and it brings it back. So a lot of times we think we have healed from different situations, but I think we're always learning. And so things can be brought up again. And then it just means that we weren't fully healed, or we're still, there's something we need to learn from it.
So true. So true. It's kind of like we graduate, we get through it one time and we graduate, and then life brings us another opportunity. Right. And test it again so that there can be more healing. I like to look at it that way. And because really, when it comes to money, and anytime we're talking about money, we're really talking about so much more than just money. Because the way that the way that you're receiving this beautiful gift of having a home, and even just receiving and patting yourself and your husband and, on the back and saying, we did it. I mean, that's a wonderful thing. And when we bring that gift into how that makes our children feel as well. Look, mom and dad, they're so happy and they achieve this. I mean, it's something that builds really our children up, our self-value, our worth, our self-esteem, all those things. So it's actually a wonderful thing. But to be able to tap into understanding what's wrong, why am I feeling guilty? And you've been able to understand that. I know a lot of times when we're talking about our relationship to money, as a trained certified money coach, I bring up a lot about money types, which is based on Deborah Price's book and her Money Coaching Institute, which is where I'm trained. And, when you know your money types, one of the money types of the 8 is a magician, is the ability to be able to transform opportunities into it's the ability to be able to transform reality so that you can create what you desire. And in all honesty, as I heard your money story as a little girl, I immediately kind of saw, oh, that's the magician at work. That's the magician. She's creatively finding a way to get what it is that you desire. And that can really, when it's practiced in a way that can serve us, that can really be very powerful in life. So, but let me ask you too, Heather. So what belief do you now hold true about money that empowers you in your business or in your personal life?
Yeah, I would say more with my business, I look at it as an energy exchange. Like money is energy. And so when I provide a service and then somebody pays me, it's just an exchange of energy. A lot of women, and I think mainly women, they have a hard time asking for a certain amount of money, or I'm not worth that much, my services, or, they just don't know how to price things. And I have a few friends that are in that space right now, and it's like, no, but you are giving your experience, your expertise, your knowledge in return for money, which I believe then is that energy exchange. It's totally an even exchange. So I think turning that way, looking at it that way has really helped me to grow my business. So I'm not looking at it as like, how much am I worth? Am I charging too much? All those money things that you hear, it's just more of a neutral feeling that I have.
I love that. I love what you're sharing there, because it is so true. One of the biggest challenges that women have when they're running their business is not charging enough for their services.
Yes.
Really undercharging. And of course, money's the lifeline of any business, right? And so to be able to cover your expenses and to be profitable, you have to be able to, maybe definitely charge, what your services are worth. And I think that when you take a look, like you're saying, you take into account, what did it cost for you to get trained to be certified? What did it cost? The time, the investment, the sacrifices, all those things have value, and you're also saving the client time and to get from A to B in their challenge, and all of those things have a value. And also being able to for a client to be able to understand that if they don't solve this problem, what will be the cost in their life to not work with you? What will be the cost in terms of your business, with their children? This is their treasure, right? So these are all wonderful ways. I love that you bring that up. That's great. That's great. So what would you say that, what lesson have you learned then from your business that you can apply to your relationship to money?
What lesson have I learned? That, I think, because in the beginning, when I started my business, I was listening to a lot of outside influence. So, there's all these people, and they mean well, and they're doing great things, but people that have like you should do your marketing plan this way, and you should offer your pricing this way, and you need to do this, funnel this way. But for me, I really had to tune into, and I talk about this a lot, my intuition, what felt right to me. When I was doing something that somebody else told me to do, if it didn't feel right, I think people can tell, because I'm very authentic, and when things are off, people can tell that from me. So, it was a lesson for my business, just to follow what felt right for me. So my pricing, what feels good for me, what kind of packaging feels good for me, and I did listen to different ways of marketing and all that, but whatever I felt, really tuning into, how does that feel for me? Does that feel right? Does that, the way I speak, the words I use when I talk about my business, how does that all feel for me? So that was really a learning. That took me time to learn that, because I really thought you had to have outside help, which is, I do for some things, but it's got to be a good connection too. They really got to understand me. So, and and what I'm doing and the words I use. So if you're using outside help too, make sure you have that great connection as well, and they really understand you and what you're providing.
Yes, I highly agree. There's two things I really advise when women come to me for any kind of business coaching when they're first getting off the ground, is one, if you can at all, if at all possible, work one-on-one with a coach or a mentor, or find someone to work one-on-one versus a group kind of environment. Groups are great, and they definitely have their place, but to save time, actually in the end, and money, you will get your results much quicker, much faster if you work one-on-one with a coach or mentor that can have their eyes totally focused on your business. So I highly agree with that. And then the other thing, like you said, when you do find that person or program, because if you decide to go with a group program, make sure that it's in alignment with your values and your vision and how you operate, how you roll. So that's great. And the other thing too that you brought up, Heather, is intuition.
Mm-hmm.
That's powerful in business, isn't it?
Right. Yes.
And I know with money, it really is as well. I think that as a soulful parenting coach, you teach, parents how to be soulful parents. I think this whole idea of being in alignment with what's, your value, your gifts, your strengths as a parent, to be able to parent your child is huge, just like it is in your relationship to money, being in alignment with what you believe and what you value and what you, how you see things in the world, even being in alignment with yourself as a female or, a male. I mean, each gender brings their own strengths and gifts to the money conversation and to money practices and to being in business. So all of that, I think alignment is really big, and that's what you're all about.
Yes. And I think in general, if we could, live more in that space, no matter if it's parenting, friendship, any type of relationship, business, all of that, it would be so beneficial for people. We're in such a rush living day to day that I think we don't take the time to really know our values sometimes, or even what we need. Just taking time to kind of pause and live in alignment.
Absolutely. Oh, Heather, I could talk to you for so much longer. Unfortunately, the show's only 30 minutes. So we're wrapping up and winding up, but I would love if you could share with the viewers and the audience, how can people find you and reach out to you if they want to either continue this money conversation or this, conversation around what you do as a sacred child coach? How can people find you?
Yeah, so I have my website, which is heathernardi.com. Also on Facebook, Heather Nardi, Instagram, Heather Nardi, and my email. I love messages, so if anyone wants to message me as well, h.nardi@comcast.net. And if you do go on my website, there's a box that'll pop up if you're just the first time on the website, and you can get a free download for a toolkit for raising an empathic child. And empathic children are really the children that feel a lot of things. They feel the energies of people, and they need special tools, I believe, to really kind of function in a function well in life, because they're so sensitive to their surroundings and energy. So I put together a toolkit on there, so you can get that for free if you would like. Otherwise, that's how you can contact me, and I'd love to, talk with people and further the conversation in any way.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Heather. And I know from the recent publication of my book on my daughter's birthday, I learned we both share birthdays with our daughters, right?
Yeah, it's actually my birthday, July 18th.
Your birthday. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's a great day.
Yes, it was. It was.
A good day, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Congratulations on your.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, wonderful. Well, it's been a pleasure, Heather. And I thank you so much for being here today. Thank you.
Yes, and thank you for having me.
Although we grew up in a lower middle class home, we lived in one of the wealthiest counties in the nation. And so when I moved out to start college, I remember a poster that I carried and hung into my apartment. The poster was a picture of a large, perfect mansion overlooking a beautiful ocean sunset with 5 expensive luxury cars that were parked below in the garage of the home. The title at the bottom of this poster said, "Justification for Higher Education." Well, looking back, it was easy to see that the money beliefs I learned growing up in my community were about what makes for a happy life. And so this steady stream of consumer messages carried strong weight in those early days of my life, leaving me convinced that it must be true. Happiness lies in purchasing power and all that money can buy. And yet none of it ever really truly resonated deep inside my heart. My deeper intuition always knew that there was so much more to happiness than that, and yet I still did need to learn the place of money in my life. Today, my relationship to money is grounded in my personal values and my truth as a creative, passionate, entrepreneurial mom. And the way I see it is that money isn't about things, it's about people. Yes, money is important, but not because of the things we can buy, but because of the time and freedom that it gives us to be with the people that we love. It isn't money that makes us rich, It's the rich experience money gives us to be with those that we care about. After all, we can always create more money, but time is finite. Have you ever taken time in your business to understand your relationship to money and your money story and how it's impacting your bottom line? If not, money coaching can be hugely valuable for you and your business. In my 4-week private one-on-one money coaching sessions, we dive deep into a heart-to-heart money conversation in a safe, gentle, and non-judgmental space where you can explore and uncover your own personal money story. You will receive new understanding and awareness of how your money patterns impact your relationship to your business and to other people in your life. You'll learn about the 8 money archetypes, and you'll discover which money type is guiding your behavior around money so that you can stop under-earning and start unfolding your financial potential. I invite you to learn more about money coaching and see how it can help you achieve your financial goals in the new year. Schedule a private session with me at www.meetwithmarlene.com. It's free, and you'll get a chance to learn more about this powerful work in your life. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I look forward to seeing you next time. Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. I'm Marlene Elizabeth. I'm the founder and author of the #1 international best-selling book, Money Wings. I hope you're excited to unfold your financial potential in 2019. And to help support you along the journey, I'd love for you to join me for a 1-day retreat that I'm hosting. It's called Wrap Your Brain Around Success. It's going to be held on January 12th in Riverside, California from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now, this 1-day retreat is for creative, passionate, entrepreneurial women like you who are ready to stop under-earning and start unfolding your financial dreams. Seats are limited. We're only making 12 spots available for this exclusive, intimate retreat. You can find all the details at www.wrapyourbrain.com. As Aristotle once said, excellence is never an accident. It's the result of high intention, sincere effort, intelligent direction, skillful execution, and the vision to see obstacles as opportunities. So let's do this. In just 1 day, I'll walk you through a strategic planning process to help you rewrite the stars of your money story. You'll walk away with clarity and action steps that you can start implementing immediately to move you closer to your financial happy ever after. Plus, you'll be guided by trained artist Shalise Berry, who's going to join me and help you design and take home your very own money vision board so you can keep focused and on track throughout the year. By registering to attend, you're going to learn a more effective, fresh approach to setting and achieving your money goals. You'll up-level your relationship to money by understanding the 8 money types created by Deborah Price, founder of the Money Coaching Institute. And you'll learn about your own personal money type that's guiding your financial life. You'll identify your natural gifts and strengths to start doing more of what you love in business and life for greater peace and joy and health in all of your relationships. You'll start moving forward in your business and your life in 2019. You'll expand beyond your old limits and up-level into a feminine leader mindset. You'll connect with positive, like-minded, supportive, soulful women entrepreneurs. Plus, you'll receive worksheets, checklists, and templates so it makes it easy for you to take action immediately. And every guest who attends this 1-day retreat will receive a follow-up complimentary 45-minute money consultation with me valued at $150. So if you're tired of constantly flying by the seat of your pants when it comes to managing your finances, if you're tired of struggling to create the right money plan for your life and your business, if you're frustrated with not being able to stay focused and moving your finances forward, or maybe even frustrated that you're no longer able to reach your money goals and you can't figure out why, or if you're feeling isolated and alone struggling in your finances, then you're going to love this one-day retreat. Imagine how different your money story could be with a deep awareness about the underlying patterns that are holding you back from your financial well-being. Register today at www.wrapyourbrain.com. I hope to see you there, and I wish you much love and light in the year ahead. Bye for now.